Racial democracy still exists today. Is democracy a good thing? On the surface, it seems that the people are in charge, but the question is, who is in charge of the people? If you like the truth we bring you in this channel, please comment, like, share, and subscribe to all video in my channel by clicking the bell. I need your support to continue. Is democracy a good thing? On the surface, it seems that the people are in charge, but the question is, who is in charge of the people? In Western democracies, the minority obeys the majority, and the majority decides through elections. However, what kind of majority is the majority decision, 50.1% versus 49.9%? Should the difference between the two be a zero-sum game? Winner takes all? The problem is today's majority may not be tomorrow's majority. While on the other hand, the country's society, politics, and economy exist for a long time. The victory or defeat of an election is a regime change, but the nasty reality is it means continuous subversion amongst the parties and political groups to grab power and to stay in power. Without stable long-term development, short-termism encourages political speculation and populism to gain power and votes. When a government system keeps changing, the society is divided. With political and economic instability, how can a country fully develop its potential in the interest of the people? Politics therefore become fragmented. Political parties, each with its own support, become difficult to form a stable government, to promote stable policies. Decision-making becomes short-term, and the government could easily become politically paralyzed. That exactly is what we see in the West today. On the other hand, there is the deliberative democracy, in which representatives of different ethnic groups or classes are allocated different proportions of political power. Nevertheless, as majority democracy relies on universal suffrage, it opposes deliberative democracy. Over time, majority democracy has become the only form of democracy accepted by the West. However, such majority democratic electoral system based on universal suffrage so far has failed to achieve the goals of the countries, failed to improve the lives of the people, even have the tendency to degenerate into racial democracy. The French Revolution was the revolution of the French people. The American Revolution was the revolution of the European colonists against the British, but it did not include the Native Americans and black slaves, and it was not a democracy for all people in the society. The era of colonialism, including the United States based on slavery and colonialism, was only racial democracy. It was the same as the political power structure of the traditional Western Greek city-states, Athens model, and the Roman Republic. Only a small number of citizens had democratic rights and to vote. The slaves and people being colonized didn't have voting rights and excluded from democracy. This type of ethnic democracy, moreover, can be fiercely religious, inheriting the tradition of the Jewish tribal gods, who belong only to the chosen race. One may argue that today everyone in the West has the right to vote, including ethnic and religious minorities. However, the reality is despite universal suffrage, the main political parties are always controlled by certain elite groups or ethnicities. The party leaders who will govern the countries will be chosen within the elite groups. The minority races or religious groups can only vote between the leaders chosen by the elite groups to govern the country. When these governors are in power, their job is always to advance the interests of the elite groups, never those of the minorities. This has been confirmed by surveys in the US showing the opinions and preferences of the public have absolutely no relevance to the decisions made by the governments. In other words, those are still racial democracies, only disguised as liberal democracies with universal suffrage, giving them the look of civilization. The reality is racial democracy continue to exist today, creating racial and religious wars, for example in the Middle East, and neocolonialism, which are countries that appear to be independent states, but in fact are colonies controlled politically, financially, and economically by the colonizers, e.g. Japan, Korea, many countries in Africa and Europe. Liberal democracy has become the institutional tool of colonialism. Thanks for watching. If you like the truth we bring you in this channel, please comment, like, share, and subscribe to all video in my channel by clicking the bell. I need your support to continue. Thank you.